It's an oil change day today. Takes what, 16 quarts, Steve?
I think it's 13.
13? After our trip of 9,000 miles, Steve decided we needed to do a nice oil change. Right?
Yep.
He changed it right before we left, too. So this is trip oil.
Yep. Trip oil.
And he's going to change all the filters at the same time because we did a lot of dusty roads. Right, dear?
Yep, we sure did. A lot of dusty stuff.
Okay. I'll leave you to what you're doing.
Okay.
And here we are at home with our wonderful Safe Light guy again. We got a second rock chip on the way home. But we waited till we got all the way home and had our guy come and take care of it. The insurance handles all this. So right now he's taking care of it. It was just on the passenger side. It wasn't too bad. It stayed nice and small. Didn't spread anywhere. So I consider ourselves lucky. Thank you, Safe Light.
Alright, so we're going to replace our door strut. Unfortunately, I took it off because it was leaking oil. The original one was leaking oil, so I took it off and made a mistake and threw it away. So I thought I think I got the right one now. And all it takes is there's little clips on the back here. You just take a small screwdriver and pry that up, and it pulls these clips out that hold the ball inside the socket. And then to put them back on, you just snap them back in. So what we're going to do is just put them on and snap them in. That's all it takes. And then the back one here is there.
Okay. Today is water pump changeout day. That is the water pump over here on the right side, I guess, or on the bottom side of the screen. While we were traveling, we did have a problem where the little screws loosened up. And there's four little screws here, right in here, that all had loosened up, and one of them had actually stripped out. And we were not able to have any water, so my bright idea was, let's take out the screws and let's wire tie it together with little wire ties. And it was enough to get us home from the rest of our trip. But now we ordered a brand new one. I will include a link below where we ordered it and how much. And it is a replacement of the same size, type, and flow. Here's the number. And now we're going to change it out.
Okay.
There we go. We're just going to leave that flashlight hanging from the curtain valance.
Okay, first.
So what you going to do?
First thing we're going to do is unplug it.
That's really important. Okay, electrical is unplugged.
Then I'm going to loosen up there's like little couplers here that are like fingers screwed onto the pump connectors. So I'm gonna,
for the lines.
For the lines, and there's a little bit of water, so I'm gonna try to mop that up.
So they're easy to turn on and off. They kind of have little wings on the nuts to make it easy on this particular installation. So you didn't even need a pliers.
No.
We do have the air conditioning on, so you'll hear a little air conditioning noise. But it's sweltering hot and humid and icky out.
I'll put a little another rag under here and catch whatever.
Okay, so one side's the in and one side's the out, correct?
Correct.
And on the out, we have an extra little pressure tank, which is that black unit. Do you want to point to it?
Right here.
That's a little pressure tank, and it helps to not have the pump run on, off all the time for the smallest amount of water being taken out.
It also quiets the pump, the noise of the pump and the water moving a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know that either. I just know that it doesn't run as often because it's like we have pressure. If you're just, taking out a little bit to rinse your toothbrush or to, fill up a cup at the sink, it's kind of handy.
And there's 4 screws that hold the pump down to a metal plate
On the bottom of this compartment.
Yeah.
Incidentally, this compartment is here next to our bed, alongside the bed under a little removable panel. So it's not in an easy place to get to. Steve's on his knees, and I'm sitting cross-legged on the bed. Okay, there's the old pump. And here was my solution when these little screws all rattled out and broke. So my solution was, because we didn't have access to long enough, they weren't really screws, they were bolts and nuts, correct?
They're bolts that thread right into this.
That thread into the metal housing.
The aluminum housing.
And they stripped out, so it was easier just to hold these 2 pieces together with wire ties. So we literally held it together with wire ties. Now, on the side of our pump, we have an extra filter. And that is a little screen filter that Steve's going to take off of this one and put onto the new one.
Yep. I gotta remove the screws that are into the
Oh, okay, because we need to reuse the screws.
Yep.
The other thing Steve did on the new one, it comes with just bare wires because there's so many different connectors and things of different manufacturers and different RV makers. So Steve, on the ends of the bare wires, has already pre-installed 2, are these butt splice wire connectors?
Yep.
Butt splice wire connectors that are heat activated. Once he sticks the wire in the hole, he crimps it down tight with a crimping tool and then uses a little torch gun to shrink the plastic.
Shrink tubing, so they're watertight.
Shrink tubing. Yep.
So what we're going to do first is do the electrical wiring. So all I got to do is I got to cut off
the connector from the old pump. So he's snipping it free. Okay.
And strip the wires back a little bit.
Yes.
And I always give them a twist.
Because they are stranded wires.
Then the other thing I do is I always use the dielectric grease. And
dielectric grease.
And I always dip the ends in the grease.
He does that on every wire connection of electronical stuff on the motorhome because it is subjected to a lot of temperature changes. This helps in moisture situations or dirty situations or whatever. Helps maintain a better contact.
So you just put the black wire to black wire and crimp it.
That's the wire onto the new pump.
New pump, and the red to the red on the new pump.
So he squeezes down the center of that barrel connector. Squishes it tight.
Grip it down. And then I shrink the tubing.
See, the tubing is loose. It doesn't make a tight connection there.
Yeah.
So now he's going to shrink it. He has a cute little torch. You could use a cigarette lighter or a clicker to do this.
And that's pretty much it. They're all sealed up, as you can see. They're watertight now. The connector is on.
And it's red to red, black to black.
Black to black. Then we take off our covers that are
during shipping.
During shipping, and there's a little bit of water in them, and because they test them, so you can, I don't know if you can see the water come out. Yeah. A little bit of water when they're testing them. So I'm going to take this one off. You put a screen on here, so we're going to remove that.
And this screen just helps catch any particles that might come in through a hose. Although we do filter our water before it comes into the rig with water filters, it's still an extra added measure of protection. Okay, you want to hold it still?
See the screen?
Okay.
And it's just, I'm just cleaning out the water.
Here's the little housing that it screws into. And that comes in through the intake side of the pump. I'm sorry.
So evidently when it came from the factory, it didn't have any tape on it, any plumbers or Teflon tape. So I'm going to put some
plumber's tape. Some people use Teflon TFE paste out of a tube, like a toothbrush tube or toothpaste tube, but you can use that, or you can use what's called Teflon tape.
And that just gives it a better chance of it sealing.
It's important that you put this on in the proper direction, because otherwise if it's wound the opposite way of when you're cranking it on, Steve's putting it on clockwise. If it's wound the opposite way, it'll just bind up in the threads because you'll be winding it on backwards.
Yeah.
This adds an extra degree of seal.
Put the screen back on.
Make sure you don't cross thread it.
And you want to put it on the intake side of the pump.
Yep. Now how can you tell which side's the intake and which is the out? Are there arrows?
There's an arrow on here. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay, arrow out, arrow in.
So there's arrows on it.
Yep.
And then put that on. I wonder if I can get another turn out of it. No, I'm not going to get another turn out of it.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it in the downward motion.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a little more tape on it because it doesn't seem to be tight enough when it's in the right
You can see how the tape goes into the grooves and helps create a new seal. Or a better seal than just using the threads alone.
I'm going to put a little more tape on.
Most people just crank it on there and crank it tight and leave it, but the Teflon tape is just a little more insurance. That's not. And of course, we'll screw it back on and make sure we don't cross thread it. That's the worst part, is if you cross thread this plastic stuff, that's not good.
Yeah, it's a little bit tighter now.
Okay.
Now
so we're all set and ready to go. There's 4 holes in the base to put in the screws. Steve's putting them in ahead of time. Makes it a little easier than trying to find it down in the dark, because they're black screws and a black rubber base. The rubber base helps absorb some of the vibration. We noticed though, about a week before this old one broke, our pump was sounding louder, and I mentioned it once to Steve that, you know, I think the pump sounds louder. And sure enough, that's when it broke. So when things start sounding funny, take care of them before they break all the way.
Okay, we'll put this back in.
Okay, so he puts it back down in its area where it was before and tries to, what, line up the screws?
Yeah.
Okay. He's trying to work himself here in between the bed and the wall.
Ooh.
Do you need a pillow to kneel on, Steve?
No, I'm fine. So I'm going to put the lines on first.
Okay, the intake and the outtake hoses.
Yeah, so that it's easier to do it now when the pump is movable, than maybe when it's already screwed down.
And these just have kind of little thumb screw type wing, kind of wing nuts built into them. pretty easy.
Then the other side.
So you're screwing on the output side now?
Yes, on the outside output side. We'll make sure they're good and snug. Make sure they're good and snug. You don't want any leaks, so you just want to make sure everything's snugged up.
And the little screen filter too.
Yep. Then we can screw this back down to the plate. Try to find the exact holes, or sometimes a little challenging.
Once you get one started, it's not too bad. It's a little easier to find the next one.
Must not have got it right lined up.
Yeah, what we think happened on the first one, it wasn't that it came loose at the base. It's that the black section, the plastic section, came loose from the metal section and separated. I think that's called the impeller. The motor.
Yeah, it's
The part that helps move the water through from the inlet to the output had come loose and was rattling. I believe this was around the $70 range to replace with a new one. So if you're handy with a screwdriver, and if you can have easy access, maybe not leaning down alongside of the bed like Steve's doing, you could change one yourself. Paying an RV tech to come and do this, or to bring it into a dealership, might cost you a service call, you know, of $100 or $200 more. That's why we prefer to do our replacements ourselves if we can.
And I like using a screwdriver versus a drill with a Phillips head in it, because to me you can feel the threads better.
Yeah, so you don't strip it out. You do run the risk of cracking or breaking things by using a power drill to screw things in and out. I know a screwdriver takes a little longer, but like Steve said, you can feel when you're getting down and snug on the threads without wrecking anything. Maybe we'll fast forward this section. Put it on 10 times speed. Show how fast you can do it.
Yep.
Okay, he's checking that it's all firmly into place. Double checking all his connections.
Yep. Now the last thing we do is we plug it into the socket.
Plug it back in.
There's only one way it can go. So this plugs back in.
And we do have the switch in the off position.
Yes. So we're ready to try it. Check.
Okay, Steve's going to get up and turn on the pump. I'm sitting here cross-legged on the bed holding the flashlight and the camera. That's my job.
And let me know if there's leaks.
Okay, we gotta look and see if there's any leaks. It's running. It's very quiet. We hear water running through the system. Okay, can you see if there's any leaks? I can't see over the lip edge of the bed.
No, I don't see any leaks.
It's quiet.
It's shut off, so it's up to pressure.
Okay, that's good.
Faucet.
Go turn on a faucet somewhere up front. Ooh, that's nice and quiet. And no leaks. We're doing great. And it turned off.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Good job, Steve.
That's the complete installation.
No, you gotta put the board back on.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna just check for dampness quickly underneath.
Steve is a very meticulous repair person.
Well, I try to be. I don't like water sitting around either, so.
Okay, now you got to put Nikki's step back up. Kind of makes a really nice step up. The bed is raised on one deck, and then a second deck here, oops, alongside of us to cover up this pump.
This actually, the design thing, it could have been a little bit lower.
Yeah, but it makes a nice little deck for Nick. That's his platform to come on up.
Yep.
So it goes here, down a step, and then over here. Want to pull that? That way, and I'll show the next step down to his dish.
And another step here, and then this is usually where we keep his water dish, food dish.
Okay, and here's the paperwork and the instructions that came with the water pump. And project registration, we have to register it. We have 90 days. And it is a Rec Pro product.